Welcome to Todd's 2-Minute Tech Tip Tuesday, brought to you by Big Beard Battery. Visit BigBeardBattery.com. All right, so many of you have asked about cleaning your tank sensors, because we all know that our sensors work, right? All right, well, what's going on with those sensors is, there's particulates, right? It could be toilet paper or anything else. What takes place is those sensors are just a probe sticking inside the tank, okay? And since we got a probe sticking inside the tank, anytime we fill that up and we have any type of solid sitting up on top, what happens is as we begin to release that water, we open up the black tank, the water goes down, and once the water goes down, we get some solids that stick on top. Typically, it's going to be toilet paper. Toilet paper wicks water, and what happens is it fools that sensor, and that sensor will say that you're 2/3 full when you're really not. So how do you clean those sensors?
But they think that because the water is running clear when they rinse it out and do all of what they do in their routine that they do, that it's clean. And it's not necessarily clean. It's just coming out clear. So when I go in there and I use basically, it's called a sewer jetter. It's a high-powered hydrojet to go in there and clean everything out. That actually cleans out what's been sticking on the walls and building up and settling in the belly and all those things that just dumping a tank cannot get at. And then that stuff starts pouring out and people are shocked about it. So it's one thing to take really good care of your tanks and flush them and use a lot of water and use a good tank product, which I do highly recommend. But occasionally you're going to want to get in there and get them cleaned out because it's going to mess up the sensors. The odor's there's going to be odor in there. You can have clogs and pyramids. There's all kinds of things that can be going on in there, and people are usually shocked at what comes out when they actually get them professionally cleaned.
Okay, so both of you, when you hear, of course, YouTube is probably the leading source of misinformation on any topic, right? So
have you seen Matt's RV reviews?
For evidence of that, you can go over to Matt's RV reviews.
I wasn't going to say it out loud.
I was going to say the NRVTA, but
No. Well, actually,
my channel.
Yeah. So, what is better, treatment or cleaning, or do you do both? I guess how do chemical treatments and professional cleaning complement each other, or do they not?
Yes, it's important to actually take care of your tanks. They are a holding tank, but there's a lot going in there at the same time. There's a lot happening in those holding tanks while they're sitting there.
So what do you mean take care of?
I've experimented.
Is that
take
cleaning or is that with treatment?
Actually, both. So the treatment is what you do on a regular basis that you as an RV owner can do and should do. And I recommend actually treating both the black and the gray tanks. People are not aware of how much is going on in the gray tank. So black and gray tanks should be treated with a tank product every time you dump, or regularly, because that's going to keep the tank working well. It's going to keep the breakdown happening. It's going to keep the odor from going crazy. It's going to really take care of things in there. And then on an occasional basis, and it's going to depend on a lot of things, you should get your tanks professionally cleaned as well. Some people every 6 months to a year, some people can go a little bit longer, but it's a really important thing to do on top of the regular treatment that you as an RV owner should be doing to take care of those tanks.
Okay.
I 100% agree. An analogy I like to tell people is liquefied or the other brands, even my enemies, any toilet treatment, that's your daily brushing. Every time you dump your tank, you should pour some more liquefied in. And then I think once or twice, maybe even 3 times a year, you should go in for that deep cleaning.
Now, there's some thought out there about maybe putting ice in your toilet, let it flush it down. Guys, here's the problem with that. That ice has to cross across those sensors, and then, of course, you have to move that ice. Otherwise, it just sits still. The hardest part with that is knowing how much water we have in our tank and knowing how much ice to put in there. Too much ice, it's not going to move at all. Too little ice, it'll just simply melt. So while there is some success by using ice, it's just more of the luck of the draw. Not only that, but you can't clean all 3 sensors. You got one at 1/3, one at 2/3, and one all the way up top. That means ice has to cross all of those. You have to drive like a maniac to try and move that ice. So the best thing to do is go ahead and get a product again that will help that bacteria, but also clean off those sensors. And just as a reminder, don't use any chemicals that actually harm the bacteria. Don't put any tank cleaners in there outside of the Unique. Don't put in Drano or anything like that, because that's what's going to kill that bacteria, and you're going to get that solid waste problem over and over again. And there's your tech tip. Visit BigBeardBattery.com. I've seen some. And it all depends. So, through the magic of the TV, I lost that, right? It's gone. Okay. And so with that, you have to be a complete physicist in order to find out how much ice. Now, then you have to drive like a, what do we call those things? Huh? How? Yeah, you gonna take up for me? So, okay, yeah. Is Maniac still, politically safe?
I think so.
All right. Womanac instead of a maniac. See? Just rest that one up. This is not a sponsored ad. Visit BigBeardBattery.com. At all. Common sense care. Keep from freezing.